Friends and family, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network with Chris Sanders as our country strikes a deal with Ghislaine Maxwell, the heiress to a mogul empire. The Mossad is robbing her, but yet that's okay because the blackmail. But I want you to know we had a major earthquake in Kamchatka. This would be a major earthquake in Russia, 8.8. Last time we had an 8.8 was in 2010 in Chile. And so now we have this striking again. We have immediate wave warning, tsunami warnings in Japan, Hawaii, and the West Coast. Heads up, Oregon, Washington, and the California coast, as well as Washington. Excuse me, that'd be the wrong side. But Washington, you should be on a high alert because Trump, you're following Benjamin Netanyahu down a hole of who knows who. Anyways, Tel Aviv is under attack right now. Saudi neighbor bombards Israel after MBS basically draws into another argument with Saudi. And after he hit Syria, MBS then gives him Syria, who also formed an alliance with Trump, $6 billion. So we have kind of a war going on within ourselves. So this is the interesting thing that's going on right now. Heads up so that you can see what we've got. These are live waves that are coming into Japan from Kamchatka. Kamchatka would be a very big volcano. Now, I'm of the frame of mind to believe that when they're around 7.3s, they come in multiple of threes. And these eights, well, let's see what else kicks off. We got Yellowstone supervolcano looking slightly active. We have magma that has been filling into Mount Rainier, Mount Hood, and Shasta, Mount St. Helens, that whole area. I'm of the belief that from that area on over to Yellowstone was where maybe an orbiting sphere once hit the Earth, such as the moon. Japan issues a tsunami alert, and this is going on right now. And this is live from Koshiro, Hokkaido Prefecture in Japan. After the 8.8 struck near Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, triggering a tsunami advisory across Japan's northern coast, authorities have urged residents in low-lying areas to move to higher ground. Move to higher ground. Honto ne, jodan janayo ne. It is time for you to get to higher ground. Tsunami warning. Japan, Hokkaido, surrounding areas. I'm hearing Hawaii's got a heads up, but keep in mind that wave is going to be cruising to you. We do not know what to expect. It's not now, even though you're starting to get anticipated, but now is not the time to be near that north and northwest coast from Kauai on over into, Oahu and all the other islands. We might have some super big waves on the pipeline today, and just keep that in mind. Stay safe, everybody. Tsunami alert, and this is from an 8 magnitude earthquake coming from Kamchatka, the peninsula of Russia. And I'm bringing that to your attention right now. And they had 5 very powerful earthquakes, another 7.4, and that was near the Petrokolovak and near Kamchatka. So what else is happening in the world as far as disobedience in America? We have Costco to be the location where illegal aliens hang out the most. If you doubt it, just go to the Costco's in North Texas and you will swear that you were visiting India. Now, here we're finding breaking. ICE responds after illegals raid a Costco parking lot shut down. And what started as a normal shopping day turned into absolute chaos. Crowds of undocumented individuals reportedly stormed a Costco location. ICE didn't waste 1 second. And basically, we had some apprehensions that were made on scene. And we're seeing that they're going to Costco, and that is something that is starting to spread out through the United States. Heads up, Americans, just for your own safety. Now, Trump's given Putin 10 days. And as such, I don't know why, the Ukraine is gone. 324 Shahed drones, 7 missiles, Putin's Kinzhals hit Ukrainian air bases, Russian claims pretty much everything. And Russia launched a massive overnight strike on the Ukraine, firing Kinzhal hypersonic missiles and over 320 drones in what Moscow called a group strike, using high-precision, long-range weapons. Primary target was the air base in western Ukraine, potentially where the host of F-16 fighter jets and all that General Dynamics, good old Texas technology, made it somehow to old prehistoric Russia so that we could help them with their civil war instead of our war here on poverty. Yeah, just ask Tupac Shakur about that one as we keep on going on deeper into the mix. And we have something called Operation Chivalrous Night. And we have Benjamin Netanyahu, our trustee Ben, and he wants us to know that these kids in Gaza, they're lying to us. They're pretending to be starving. They're pretending to be skinny. We should know better. And if we don't know better, we're being anti-Semitic. Interesting. I want you to know that you have to speak Aramaic or Arabic, not Hebrew, to be Semitic. And so new Ashkenazis of Hebrew dialect are not even Semitic people. Operation Chivalrous Night delivers again. UAE Jordan carry out the 54th airdrop over Gaza. We have seen now Mr. Netanyahu go and murder people, children, aid workers. Then when he blows something up, then he waits for the first responders to help, and then he kills them. I think it's gone on far enough for us to give any kind of tactical position help to an ICC war criminal. And we are trying to help a country, and Israel gives us a straight denial. And he calls our president a liar. And so now we've got video footage of the United States and our help and our aid, and I'm glad we're able to do something. But I want to show you, and for all the children that are getting something, God bless you, and we got to keep tyranny away from these children and the survivors that are left. This area had 1.9 million people. Today we recognize maybe 360,000 people. Let's understand that maybe 1.5 million people have been murdered here. I don't believe the IDF or Harvard on 377,000. I think that you've carpet bombed, and with the power of the United States, you've murdered at least 1.5 million people, and these are the sole survivors and the orphans that we're seeing. And the kids that die are the orphans that have no parents, and it's because of this guy. And he's looking at criminal charges, $5.3 billion of theft from the Israeli CIA. And he is turning Israel itself into what Gaza looks like. As I say so many times, hate breeds hate, and love breeds love. So we have interesting arrests that are on the horizon. I do not know as far as to the validity, but we're hearing, and this is some interesting stuff, so I'm going to share it. And again, this is as a tsunami warning's coming into America. Okay? And this gives me a little bit of time to say, isn't Kristi Noem doing a fantastic job And she was my pick for Vice President of the United States. She did such a fantastic job as the governor of South Dakota. She's a real rancher. She rides a Harley. She knows how to shoot a gun, and she gets stuff done. And she has been doing just a fantastic job of head of HHS. And Secretary O'Neill, same thing as far as him. He's been doing a fantastic job under Kennedy. And we have some great things. Interesting news on the side topic. Trump says he's going after top United States celebrities, perhaps, maybe even Beyonce, Oprah, Harris. Are these people that could be on the radar? We don't know. But we're seeing it happen, and it is being speculated. Now, what I'm wanting you to know, something on the more serious side, is we need to come back here at home. We need to fight our war on poverty. We need to love thy neighbor here. We can't keep up with Netanyahu. We have what's happening is an alliance over Islam versus Judaism, terrorism versus sanity. And the Houthis have issued a fiery threat to the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, warning of military action if Benjamin Netanyahu continues his criminal actions in Gaza. And in a viral video, Houthi leaders slammed Arab fellow neighbors, saying that they had to go to the aid of the children of Gaza, the children of Lebanon, the children of Syria, the children of Iran, because the hate has gone out of control. So they're asking their neighbors to protect each other in the name of just a genocide that started in Gaza, has bled over into Lebanon and Syria, and it's time to put an end to it. And that is what the Houthis are saying in an alliance now with MBS Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, with the Houthis. And if they fire and if they bring a unification together, we see something terrible that's on the horizon. Now, don't forget, Trump was very crass to Mr. Musk. And during that time, Elon had a slight failure. What I'm speculating is that Kinzhal and Iskandar is able to hit Starlink out of the sky. We see that Starlink has gone dark in certain areas over the Ukraine area, and the hubs have been bombed by Putin. And so Musk pays for Trump's Patriot missiles. And we have the Patriot missiles and their defenses that have been taken offline and now have been demolished by Vladimir Putin. And he says that is your answer, Mr. Trump, as far as your 10-day demand to me. And it's just going to get worse. You haven't seen Poseidon. You haven't seen Sarmat, Satan 2, and the MERV technologies. All these can blow up something the size of the state of Texas. And the bombs and the axe are set at the base of the tree. So 8 Starlink hubs gone in one night. I'm bringing that to you. How many people are letting you know that, as well as this new fact that is out? You see, because we got on the side of Netanyahu, people felt sorry for Khomeini because he's been around for 20 years and he hasn't really attacked anybody. He talks a big talk like that crazy dog, but he's really not attacked anybody. He might say death to America, especially if you're going to follow Israel, but he says this stuff. He's been saying it for so long. He's been saying it since country wasn't cool. Now, how do we respond? How does the world respond? Because even though he talks tough, he hasn't attacked anybody. Iran's claiming something that they've gotten a gift from Putin. North Korea, the world, they've unified in technology. They have a new ICBM called the Kamchatka 5, and the papers reveal some astonishing facts. It's got a very heavy warhead, 2 tons, And this thing can hit the entire United States of America. So he's been gifted equipment to now hit America. Entire range, courtesy of probably China and Russia, because they're sick of our stuff, courtesy of us backing the warlord. See, I can understand us helping Israel defend itself. That's itself. That's not Syria. That's not Lebanon. That's not Iran. That's not Iraq. In the past, it was Jordan and Egypt. There's not one neighbor they haven't attacked. Good old Uncle Sam, we've been the bullying for a faith that they don't understand. See, it was the cornerstone that they rejected that we embrace. Because there's no greater love than someone that has died for someone so that they could be saved. And that's what happened to us. And so we're built on something that they rejected. And we are built on something so strong that they can't comprehend it because the darkness cannot comprehend the light. I'm going to give you some interesting news today, something that you're never going to hear from any other news channel. I thought this was pretty interesting. We had this guy that was stabbing people. You see him right there? That's the suspect. And he was stabbing people at Traverse City, Michigan. Mass casualties. Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office investigating it. But here's the line you'll never hear from anybody else. America, the day was saved by a black man with a gun, registered to himself, showed up, and saved everybody there. That's a pretty damn good line if you ask me. I'll have to repeat it in another type of way. America, thank God a black man had a gun registered to himself so that he could put some crazy lunatic with a knife in place and save people so more people weren't injured. Thank God black guys in America have guns registered to themselves that are from America. I'm not talking about any foreign scrubs. I'm not talking about illegal aliens. I'm talking about the time has come where Americans are making a stand. Suspect is in custody. Details are limited at this time. Douglas J. Obadazinski, 42-year-old man. Who is Bradford Gilly? So there you go. These are pretty interesting things that I want you to know. And remember, I said the other day it was the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Germany, and Australia, and us. And it was us with Israel. And we believe we need to starve those kids in Palestine because we are just kind of satanic and treacherous and evil-minded as a culture. So in Great Britain, they responded to Slam Starmer over his Gaza starvation. But we can't believe these kids and their bones and the fact that they're dying. We have to believe Netanyahu and that these children are lying and that everything started on October the 7th, even though prior to that year, war has been going on since the beginning of time between these cousins. It's almost like watching in Ireland the days between the Protestant and the Catholics when they would go at each other. And oh, do you miss those days today when at least you stood on this rock that I talk about of Christ? Whereas then today you've let something in that denies it all. You see, it's this cancer that I'm talking about. It's destroying Europe, Great Britain, Norway. And we have to be built on love. That's why I see the future, if Europe is to be saved, is for Trump and Putin to form an alliance in the name of Christ and through the strength of America and Russia, smash out the infidels, regain the borders for Europe itself. That's the only way we can save it. In Ireland, the citizens, in my opinion, of Ireland and Scotland, the indigenous citizens, need to be armed. And they need to clean house. And as you clean house, remember then 7 more demons will come then and mess with you because you put your house in order, so keep that in mind. We have treason that has happened in the United States of America by the Manchurian candidate. Don't even know if he was ever a citizen. Was bastardized off at birth. Entire white family died, was raised by a man that was Muslim, stayed Muslim, came back as a foreign exchange student. Somehow then made it to be president, married to somebody that's questionable, even if he is a woman. Russia then now blasts all this conspiracy that was cooked off by Obama. Is Obama guilty of treason? And did he conspire with Hillary Clinton to do everything in this Russian collusion? Did he weaponize the DOJ? Did he weaponize the CIA and FBI against the American people? Did he create a sketch comedy between the United States within ourselves to destroy us, to get us divided in the alphabet soup of woke-tardism until we were pointing fingers and ruining Olympics and ourselves? And then when we came up and took a breath, we looked after COVID, and what we saw was selfish, out of control, and unrecognizable. It's time for God and country. New evidence exposes former President Barack Obama and his administration in the orchestration of the Russian hoax to mislead you and I, saying that what? General Flynn was correct, and oh yes, we need to get Pam Bondi to get the lead out. Maybe she can't get the lead out, and that's why you will see some Gates. Oh yes, Matt Gaetz will come back as special prosecutor, and he will clean house. Because I think the original formula's got to come back into existence. Russian Special President Representative blasts the deep state silences. More than 100 documents are inducing James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, and Susan Rice, Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard describes the scandal as a year-long coup and plans to submit a criminal referral to the DOJ and the FBI. But what we have here is exposure. What we have is conspiracy. There's no statute of limitations on conspiracy, and the crime from conspiracy would be treason. Nobody likes to address what the punishment for this violation is, so I will say it in a way that is acceptable. As I twine together this hemp rope that I make that was grown in American soil, because we want something made in America. And we'll build it with the pine trees and the ponderosa pines of the Black Hills, maybe even in the good old, put it in the main street of Deadwood, you could say. If that doesn't suffice, then Highway 380 going through Lincoln, New Mexico, the town of Billy the Kid, would suit me also equally just as fine. And there we would ask for the benefits of gravity combined with this rope and the sin that has been committed, so that the price can be paid, so that the Constitution that we swear our oath to is both loved and feared, just like the Bible should be. Because without those two foundations, we are nothing. Tel Aviv is under attack as Saudi neighbor bombards Israel after MBS draws Palestine. This is in the last 4 hours. And if he would just make a ceasefire, if he would have just stopped at Gaza, but then he hit Lebanon, then he blew up pagers, then those pagers were tied to the killing of the Iranian president. Then he blew up pagers in Lebanon, then he exploded buildings in Iran, then he attacked Iran, then we asked for a ceasefire with Gaza again, and then he blows up the capital and area of Syria. It is never-ending madness. Time has come for us to drop our allegiance 100% with Benjamin Netanyahu, and we pray that Israel can find a leader, one that is blessed with compassion, one that is not tied to the United States of America. Zelensky is our puppet, understand that, and I pray that the Ukraine can find a leader that is compassionate to the people of the Ukraine. Don't work with us. We want to work with nuclear energy and biofarms and biohazards and war weapons. Work with your neighbors that love you. We have a plank in our eye, and it's such a big plank we can't even see clearly to see the splinter that's in our brother's eye. So when we remove this plank from our eye, this plank of borders, we want to protect our borders. We don't want anybody in Cuba, but yet we want to be in the Ukraine. We don't want them in Mexico. We don't want them in Nicaragua or Venezuela, but we want to be in Poland and Germany, in Vladdy P's backyard. And we can't exist on threats. We need to exist on true capitalism, true industry, true love. So the Houthis have been gifted, so has Iran, to go against the United States of America, our Navy, our forces, and every day a country joins their side. According to the United Nations, over 76% of the countries are on the side that is not on the side of Benjamin Netanyahu. And with the Hague Convention, we're dealing with mid-70s across the board. Even within the United States, Great Britain, Germany, and Australia, I really don't think our populations are geared for and endorsing the murdering of children. Again, we pray that Israel finds a leader and that you get the let out and you do it very soon. Because this war that's starting between Turkey, the destruction of NATO, and everything else is all your fault because you have let a dictator completely get out of control and run Jerusalem into the ground while we have somebody, unfortunately, that has believed in him at the cost of America. We need to save America. And it can't be at the cost of every single fraud and war that our government is lying about with the Israeli government. So we have intelligence coming in on fraud, on schemes coming in from Russia to the American people. He's going to expose $1 billion in fraud, cover up. Putin's envoy exposes Zelensky and the fraud between the United States of America and the Ukrainian government. In a scathing address to the United Nations, Dmitry, Russia's first deputy permanent representative, accused and exposed Zelensky have orchestrated massive cover-ups to hide the embezzlement of $1 billion. Keep in mind, even on this last transaction with Trump, they exposed a $40 million cut tied into fraud. Then these guys like Benjamin Netanyahu and Zelensky are going to come back and try to retire in Miami. This is a crime. This is a fraud. This is being exposed by Vladimir Putin to the American people. And he is saying that Zelensky's kidnapping people in broad daylight, using inhumane methods and putting the weak people up front so that they become cannon fodder as they fight Russia and they should just surrender. And Trump, by you even giving these threats of 10 and 30 days, are just costing rapid fire death at a higher pace. So we have basically 2,000 plus bodies at least a day that have been coming since then. And this is something that's just happening. Do you have brain fog? Do you feel weird? Is it 5G? Is it your smart meters? Well, we're getting brain fog is also a massive side effect. It could be processed mRNA foods and also COVID-19 vaccine lies. The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee held a powerful hearing to examine the voices of the vaccine injured. Among the witnesses was Dr. Robert Sullivan, anesthesiologist who shared his firsthand experience on the research of adverse stuff, and Dr. Sullivan revered some stuff, and it was quite amazing. But what we have is basically people coming together and stuff going from one side to the other. So in the last 48 hours, we have Trump going from being in alliance with Benjamin Netanyahu, can you destroy Hamas? Sorry, I'm going to tell you that all the intelligence that you receive from Israel is slanted, and even the intelligence from your own intelligence is, not too intelligent. This is not Hamas. Hamas is a word and a brainwashing tool to describe maybe Palestinians that are trying to protect themselves or their loved ones that are hiding out or gaining an alliance from other people. This is not Hamas. This, even in the old days, you could compare to the Palestinian Liberation Organization. And it would be almost more accurate. But what we're dealing with here is a unification of Islam and Allah and those factors. And you're going to see an alliance of Islam. And it's going to come from all of the countries. And they already have a dedicated 1 million men ready to fight this war right now, and bringing it to the attention of the United States military and also to you, President Trump, and our government. And this is not Hamas. This is a unification, and this will be a unification of Islam and over genocide. And Gaza is not a property grab option. It's not a Trump Tower option. I've got better ones for you. If you'd like a Trump Tower option, come visit me at the beautiful Mount Rushmore in the state of South Dakota, or perhaps Windstar, or I heard Tim Burton's got some good locations also. He's planning around Jerry Jones in certain areas in Frisco, Texas. I think those would be better areas for us to concentrate on building than Gaza. And besides, we know the Dallas Cowboys could use a Trump Tower, in my opinion. That'd be a little bit more uplifting to America and constructive with our money spending versus blowing up little children and trying to brainwash Americans into believing that that somehow is the Christian thing to do. Well, we have lies getting exposed on both sides. And I want you to know we have Trump saying one thing, we have Benjamin Netanyahu saying the other thing. And it's interesting to see the two of them disagree with each other, such as they're saying. The Russian Kinzhals have torched certain areas. But I want us to hear these contradictions between our leaders and as far as the things in which are being said, America. So here we go. Here's one.
And there is no starvation in Gaza.
We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it.
What a bold-faced lie.
You can't fake that.
We enable humanitarian aid throughout the duration of the war to enter Gaza. Otherwise, there would be no Gazans.
We're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops. and the people are running for it.
The main thing that I want to stress is the importance of winning the battle for truth. And that is a battle that we fought even as we speak now. Israel is presented as though we are applying a campaign of starvation in Gaza. What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza. We enable humanitarian aid throughout the duration of the war to enter Gaza, otherwise there would be no Gazans. And what has interdicted the supply of humanitarian aid is one force, Hamas. Again, the reversal of the truth. Hamas robs, steals this humanitarian aid, and then accuses Israel of not supplying it. Well, we've enabled the amount required by international law to come in. There are hundreds and hundreds of trucks loaded with tons. So far, we've supplied 1.9 million tons of food since the beginning of the war. Almost 2 million tons.
Wow. Okay. So, these kids are such great actors at pretending, and I'm glad that they're all so fat and just doing so well, like this scrapping young gentleman here. And yeah, they're actors. And America needs to know that all of these kids are actors, and all of these kids are lying, America. America, we can't believe Palestinian children. We can't believe the situation they're in. No, sir, no, ma'am. They're looking skinny, but you know what? I think we got some Academy Award winners coming out of Old Town Bethlehem on a donkey into Jerusalem today. So what do you mean there, Chris? Well, what did you say there to the waiter as he stood there picking his nose? Or hard-boiled eggs, you son of a gun. You can't stick your finger in those. So we have these young kids and they're starving. And it's pretty much something that's just out of control. There's aid packages that kids are getting. And that's something that's positive that I want everybody to see. And so Uncle Sam has done some good stuff. We have done the only thing we can because they were literally getting massacred at other food drops by our good old buddy, good old Benjamin Netanyahu. And, these kids, they really aren't that skinny. And they really aren't dying. And there really isn't just about 365,000 people left going around in the ashes. This is a man-made starvation, a theatrical crisis, according to Netanyahu. And everybody's doing fine living in the rubble here, as you can see. These people are enjoying life. And there used to be homes behind them, but they prefer living in dirt and rubble and ashes. And these kids that don't know where their parents are, that's the way it is. Okay, so this kid right here, he's acting, and he is a bold-faced liar. And all these children that they're walking down, they're doing a good job at acting too. In fact, I think maybe Hollywood moved back to Israel and Palestine. All of our award-winning actors are there. This mass starvation couldn't be something that could be real. Again, this child here, another fantastic liar. And we need to believe Benjamin Netanyahu and the incredible lies that these kids are telling us just by these visual images. And that they're all wealthy, having a good time. And somehow, as Christians, you want us to follow you into a satanic genocide as you trespass in an area where you are a welcome neighboring guest that has been allowed to stay there. You have carpet bombed their entire country. You want to lie about hostages when if there are hostages, they would have died in the dirty bombs and concussion bombs that you're using. Just by sheer numbers, these are the only people that are left from 1.9 million people. And they're starving to death. There's now not an infrastructure. Everything has been taken away. Now we had France. You're going to see France. You're going to see Great Britain crumble. Ireland, Norway, many countries are on the side of Palestine. And it's not just being on the side we're against Netanyahu 100% because you're a criminal bastard that is out of control. And we have tried to work with you on ceasefires in Gaza, in Iran, in Lebanon, in Syria. And your word doesn't mean jack crap. You're an out-of-control, maniacal liar that needs to basically go to jail, stay there, and rot there because you do nothing but terrorize the world. And you want to tell us that this is an act? Yeah. We got a few words for you two. You want to tell us his legs are an act? You want to tell us that these images are lies? That's the wonderful thing about media and about the internet today, is that you can't own all of the cameras. And then even the hospitals, you've blown up every hospital they have. You have killed over 1,000 media people. You've killed thousands of first responders, and we're supposed to just somehow get behind you as if you and your motive is better and more important than everybody else's cause in existence. And somehow that represents America and equality and freedom to choose. Because what that shows us, and it expressly demonstrates to us, is that you believe that you're superior and that you have a superiority, and that we should use that superiority with everything we have to kill everything in existence until everyone is gone except you. And at this rate, that is the exact path that we're taking. There are kids that are dying. And everybody knows it. And it's time that we pull away from that. So I pray that President Trump sees the truth, sees the blatant lies, sees how Benjamin Netanyahu has gone against every single ceasefire. Fool me once, twice. Sir, he's done this a dozen times. At this point, he is publicly going against everything you say. The images of everywhere in Gaza looks like it's in shambles, and we're supposed to believe he's looking for hostages there. There's nothing to believe with his story of theater. What hostages? You mean the ones you accidentally killed when you gravity bombed the entire country? Again, the population was 1.9, 1.8 million. We are looking at 360,000 roaming children and individuals scouring for food as they starve to death. As far as the public contradiction, as far as these children lying, as far as being a Christian and knowing that it is our duty to serve children, Benjamin Netanyahu does not serve America. He believes he's superior. He's stealing property. He's using our money to do it. And he's calling you a liar.
We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it.
What a bold-faced lie.
You can't fake that.
We enable humanitarian aid throughout the duration of the war to enter Gaza. Otherwise, there would be no Gazans.
We're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it.
The main thing that I want to stress is the importance of winning the battle for truth. And that is a battle that we fought even as we speak now.
This guy is insane.
No starvation in Gaza, no policy of starvation in Gaza. And I assure you that we have a commitment to achieve our war goals. We'll continue to fight till we achieve the release of our hostages and the destruction of Hamas's military and governing capabilities. They shall be there no more. We shall not have any more of these massacres. We shall not have any more of these monstrosities. We stand for human freedom and human life, and that is not commensurate with Hamas or with Iran, other Iranian proxies. We have fought this battle together. We shall win it together.
Some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it, and you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it. And the Prime Minister is going to help us. They're very effective with that. We also discussed, obviously, Gaza. And I think before we get to phase two, which is, what's going to happen afterwards, we want to get the children fed. We made a contribution a week ago of $60 million, all going into food. We only hope the food goes to the people that need it, because so much, as you know, when you do something there, it gets taken by Hamas or somebody.
Or Israel, exactly.
But, and we're prepared to help, we want to help. It's a terrible situation.
We know what's going on.
It really has major implications right here in Washington. President Donald Trump is breaking with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the hunger crisis in Gaza.
International pressure is building on Israel as images of starving children evoke global horror and despair. But over the weekend, Netanyahu...
All right, so there you go, America. I'm not the only one that's believing in this. We have this happening. We have aid coming in from Uncle Sam to the children of Palestine, and our prayers for each one of you children is to eat as much as you can, to get a good night's sleep, and we're going to pray that you somehow make it and somehow grow up and somehow live in love, because that's really what we're about. And Israel and America and everybody's let this man Benjamin Netanyahu get out of control. And we need to have somebody that cares a little bit more about all of us now. And when you see somebody that's not the right person for the job, it helps you see pretty clearly on who can be the right person for the job. And so the elders of Israel have gotten together, and he's lost the stability he needed. And so Israel, the time is now. And we don't need a general again. We need somebody that's filled full of love and compassion on both sides, because it's going to take a lot of love to get us out of this hole that we have created here. And, we are facing some times and disasters, but as we do, then God shows us His beauty in how small we are. Again, we had an 8.8 magnitude earthquake and about 5 other major ones, down to a 7.4. And these are tsunami warnings going into Korea, Japan, and onto Taiwan, into Hawaii, and the west coast of the United States, Oregon, Washington, California. Hawaii, have your heads up. If you're a surfer, probably be expecting some good waves, but just in case we don't, this was a big one, so we could have some actual devastating tsunamis hit us somewhere. God bless, stay safe, and pass the word out as far as to kind of stay away from the beaches today. Go to higher ground. This would be north shore of Hawaii areas. This would be Taiwan, Japan. This would be anywhere on the west coast of the United States and Hawaii. God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you soon. Please like, share, subscribe, and pass this to anybody that you know. God bless you. Amen.